After Gabby Petito would set off on a cross-country trip to the United States alongside her boyfriend Brian Laundrie.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
After Gabby Petito would be reported missing by her parents on September 11th, 10 days after her boyfriend Brian returned home by himself.
This girl right here, this is what matters. That is it. Anything else, it comes second to this.
After Gabby Petito would fit the description of a body found in Teton County, Wyoming.
Just moments ago, officials say remains found near Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming are consistent with the description of the missing woman.
Over the past 2 weeks, the entire world's been drawn into the unfolding story of a missing person, 22-year-old Gabby Petito. Now, Gabby, she'd set off on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, in the hopes of starting a vlog based off her passion for van life. But in an adventure that was supposed to kick off the rest of her life, it is instead brought to a heartbreaking end. Now, here we are looking back at the life of a young woman whose unquestionable potential was tragically cut all too short, and asking ourselves, what happened? My name is Michael McCrudden, no need for an intro, let's just get into this video. Gabby Petito, she was born on March 19, 1999. Now, she grew up in Blue Point area of Suffolk County, New York. Now, when speaking about the life of his daughter, Gabby's father, Joseph, he described her as an amazing young woman bursting at the seams with artistic talent. He told People, she's an amazing artist, she loves to draw, she has a great eye with decorating. She's that flower child type of personality, the old soul, you know? A quick look back at Gabby's Instagram post, it gives us a taste of what her dad was talking about. Now, whether it's the gorgeously composed images she posted of her trip across the country, or her earlier examples of breathtaking sketches. Now, it's clear that Gabby, she had more than enough skill to accomplish whatever she set her mind to. After having known one another from the time they were children, in March of 2019, Gabby and Brian Laundrie officially started dating. And before long, they had migrated to the north part of Florida, and they moved in with Brian's family. By June of 2020, they'd become engaged. And on Brian's description of his Instagram post announcing their engagement, the guy wrote, "My biggest fear is that one day I'll wake up and it will have all been a dream, because that is what every second has felt like since the moment we found each other. Till death do us part, or until I wake up, I'm so happy the answer was yes. Love you, honey." Gabby's mother, Nicole, she would later state that she believes both Gabby and Brian, they eventually called off their engagement because they were too young to get married. Still, that wouldn't be the end of the relationship. And in June of 2021, these two, they set off on a trip across the United States. After spending some time back in Blue Point to attend her brother's graduation ceremony on June 17th, Gabby and Brian headed west in a 2012 white Ford van, intent on visiting as many national parks as they could. Now, it was Gabby's plan to document their journey every step of the way and kickstart a potential career for herself as a video vlogger. By July of 2021, the couple, they were in full swing, posting a ton of content to their Instagram profiles at each new stop. This included images from Monument Rocks, National Landmark in Grove County, Kansas, and more. There was also the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado and Zion National Park in Utah. On July 31st, Gabby, she would post another image from Canyonlands before entering a 12-day absence from uploading any new material. What happened? In the month of August, this idyllic road trip, it took a surprising turn. On August 12th, Utah authorities, they were alerted by a 911 call to a potential domestic dispute between a couple unfolding outside of a store. Now, at the time, the witnesses reported seeing Brian physically assaulting Gabby.
Florida with the white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman,
Where's it
about
at?
5'6", beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but we drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
When the police tracked them down on the highway, Gabby, she told the cops that she was struggling with her mental health, and this had resulted in Brian and her fighting all day long.
I don't know, it's just, some days I have really bad OCD, and I was just cleaning and straightening up the back of the van before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean.
Brian, meanwhile, he told the police that Gabby, she slapped at him and that he had pushed her away in retaliation. Now, according to cops at the scene, both Gabby and Brian, they refused to press charges against one another, and the authorities eventually concluded this to be more of a characteristic dispute than an assault. Officer Daniel Robbins, he wrote in his report, "After evaluating the totality of the circumstances, I do not believe the situation escalated to the level of domestic assault as much as that of a mental health crisis." Now, authorities suggested that the two, they spent the night apart, which they did. With Gabby, she slept in their van, and Brian, he slept the night at a local hotel. Now, not long after this altercation, Gabby, she would make her final post to Instagram on August 25th. This image, along with her second to last post, contained no geographical information, but the photo appears to have been taken in front of the mural known as Monarch in Moda, an artistic hub in Ogden, Utah, which is about a 45-minute drive from Salt Lake City. Now, soon after, Gabby, she ceased communication with everyone, which included her family. Around the end of August, Gabby, she sent her family what would wind up being her final message to them. On August 27th, she wrote what her mother considered to be an odd text. This read, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." Now, Stan is Gabby's godfather, but Nicole says that her daughter, she doesn't even refer to him by his first name like that. Now, after reading this, Nicole, she became concerned that something was going on. 3 days later, the family, they received another text stating, "No service in Yosemite." The family now believes that Gabby, she did write that last text, though the reason why, they remain unclear. Now, around the time that communication stalled out with their daughter, they believed her to be in Grand Teton National Park, which is in Wyoming. Now, after 3 days of not hearing from Gabby at all, her parents, they were shocked to learn that Brian Laundrie, he returned to his parents' home in Florida all by himself, driving the very same van that the couple, they had been traveling. He also refused to speak with Gabby's family about her whereabouts. So on September 11th, 10 days after Brian returned home, Gabby's family, they filed a missing persons case. Living in Suffolk County, that's where they reported her missing. Now, police, they immediately reached out to Brian, but he and his family, they would refuse to speak with them as well. Now, the police, they've continually pleaded with the Laundrie family to open up about what they know, but have been continually cut off from them by the family's lawyers. Now, the Laundrie family original statement partially read, "It is our hope that the search for Miss Petito is successful and that Miss Petito is reunited with her family. On the advice of counsel, the Laundrie family is remaining in the background at the juncture and will have no further comment." Now, eventually, Brian's sister, Cassie Laundrie, she would be the first of her family to speak to the press, appearing on Good Morning America and expressing her love for her sister, Gabby.
Me and my family want Gabby to be found safe. She's like a sister and my children love her. And all I want is for her to come home safe and sound and this to be just a big misunderstanding.
Cassie says she hasn't spoken with her brother since his return home, but police, they remain convinced he knows what happened. Now, that being said, Brian is yet to be convicted of any crime. Police simply want to know whatever it is he can tell them. Instead of helping, however, Brian, he's decided to disappear. On September 14th, Brian packed a bag, told his parents that he was heading out to the Carlton Reserve in Sarasota County, Florida, and he hasn't been seen since. Now, Brian's parents, they didn't even tell the police what was unfolding until 3 days later on September 17th. Now, this communication would become the first time that the Laundrie family spoke openly to the cops and would eventually lead to authorities searching their family home and taking away boxes of material. Since learning of his departure, police, they've instigated a manhunt in the 25,000-acre Carlton Reserve, but the potential in finding someone who clearly doesn't want to be found, it remains daunting to say the very least. At the time of this recording, Brian, he remains missing. Then on September 19th, the FBI, they reported that they discovered what appears to be the remains consistent with the description of Gabby in Teton County, Wyoming. Now, the remains, they were discovered in a camping area not long after family travel vloggers Jen and Kyle Bethune, they uploaded a video to social media that appeared to show a van matching the description of the one Gabby and Brian had been using, parked on the side of the road. The footage was captured on August 27th, the same day that Gabby sent that text to their family, and is convinced it wasn't hers. Now, from the looks of the footage, no one was around the van at the time, and it should be noted that the van, it was never confirmed to be theirs. But that would be quite a startling coincidence if it wasn't. Now, after learning from the FBI that they had discovered a body believed to be Gabby's, her father celebrated his daughter's life with a post on Instagram explaining that she had touched the world. And there isn't any shadow of a doubt that he's right. Now, how Gabby's story has come to an end is beyond tragic and certainly not what any of us wanted. But over the past few weeks, people all over the world, they've come together not only to help locate Gabby, but to celebrate the life of a young woman who was so chock full of potential that her story has just managed to captivate the entire world. So I'll just close this video with rest in peace, Gabby.